This is the reading discussion or wrap-up routine from CKLA. After a reading is completed, this routine is used to check on students' comprehension of the text using oral discussion questions and/or written activity page items. Students routinely answer literal, evaluative, and inferential questions, and their answers are expected to be text-based, requiring students to look back at the text, paraphrase, and expand on what they've read. Teachers need to plan and manage these discussions in order to support students' ability to comprehend a text and express themselves orally or in writing while keeping the discussion within the time allotted. When planning for the discussion, it might be useful to use Strive's discussion routine as a guide for planning. A link to the full routine is in the Wakelet below this video, and is highly suggested you take the time to establish a rich discussion routine in your classroom using this resource. This routine explains planning the discussion, teaching the expectations of the discussion, and facilitating the discussion. When planning the discussion, it is important to determine simple rules like taking turns, actively listening, and determining the process of participation. It is important to model and provide guided practice opportunities for students to discuss so you can monitor and provide feedback as necessary. For the purpose of this model, let's act like you have already established a rich discussion routine in your classroom following the guidance from Strive's discussion routine. One particularly useful part of the discussion routine that can be used with CKLA's discussion questions are the sentence stems for follow-up questions. By selecting some of these sentence stems to be used in the discussion, students are encouraged to be active listeners and think critically about their peers' responses. The primary focus objectives for the lesson should guide teacher decision-making. Not all questions need to be asked. Using Strive's discussion routine, I could plan a discussion around these two evaluative questions. Before reading, I would review the questions and decide on a note-taking method. Students read the text and complete their note-taking and are then seated so that they can see each other, like in a horseshoe shape, with their notes in front of them. Partners are assigned for Think, Pair, Share. I remind students of simple rules for discussion and pose the initial question to students. Think, Pair, Share. Why do you think the feudal system, or the arrangement between lords and serfs, existed? Students will follow the Think, Pair, Share routine with their partner and refer to notes as needed. Students then respond following participation rules, and both teacher and students ask follow-up questions using follow-up stems. The teacher continues to step in and out of the discussion as necessary. If the discussion routine is strong in your classroom, this should be a time when all students are able to have a voice and feel confident discussing the text.